it's me, Kay, and today's video is going to be a little more serious. Still light and fun, but more serious. Light and fun. Well, I'm not quite sure how this is fun, but it's definitely light. Do I have makeup on my teeth? Oh my god. So, today I want to talk about an article that I wrote on my website yesterday, entitled, Proof That Being Non-Binary Exists, According to the APA/DSM-5, but not in the way it's popularized, parentheses, neogenders. Now, wait. Before anyone jumps down my throat on either the binary or non-binary side, please just hear me out. On one end of the spectrum, I'm always automatically accused of being delusional when I say that I'm non-binary, because that must mean that I agree with a million neogenders or that I identify as being a rabbit or something. And then on the other end, I'm accused of being a traitor and that I should believe that everyone can be whatever they want and I shouldn't care about medicine and science, and no matter what I do, I'm being screamed at. So I created this article to prove the existence of non-binary people according to the APA as written in the DSM and other various APA documents. This video is in no way trying to silence or gatekeep anyone's experience with gender. But right now on the internet, we're really only seeing one narrative of what it means to be non-binary, and that's just not fair. So what I wanted to present in this article is the science and the medicine behind being non-binary, because it's a thing. So I have my article on my iPad and I have the DSM here just because I love to hold it and touch it and it makes me feel warm and validated. But no, I honestly don't even know why I have this here. Like, all of the quotes that I need are... okay. And I'm going to be going through my article so you can see what it truly means to be non-binary according to the APA, psychiatrists, clinicians, all of that stuff. I started off with a quick little intro of why I'm writing this article, and I've already expressed that to you guys. I'm just so sick of being attacked from either side because there's really no reason for it. I also linked my friend Finn Lambo's article called Scientific Proof on Why You Need Dysphoria to Be Trans. I'm not going to be talking about that today, but if you do believe in transmed views or if you're curious, you can definitely go ahead and check that out. It's in my article, and I'll also leave the link below. So like I said, the purpose of me writing this article was to prove, or at least attempt to prove, two major points. The first point being that non-binary is not fake, it actually exists. And the second point being that there is currently no scientific proof behind neogenders. And then I go on to say why it is I chose to quote the DSM and other APA documents, and it's simply because the APA is the main professional organization of psychiatrists, not only in America, but they are also recognized worldwide. And it's the largest, I believe. Yep, it's the largest psychiatric organization in the world. This very manual is the manual that psychiatrists, clinicians, doctors use to diagnose patients with mental illnesses or disorders. I've also included a PDF copy that I found online of the chapter in this very book on gender dysphoria. So if you have any doubts as to what I'm saying, not only did I quote the exact quotes in my article, but you can read it yourself. The APA also has a document that defines various LGBT/gender/sex terms, so I've also included a link to that document. Again, if you have any questions or doubts about what I'm saying or what I'm quoting, you can actually go to those documents and read it yourself. Okay, so I started off with what is gender. Gender is a word used to denote the public and usually legally recognized lived role as a boy or girl, man or woman, but in contrast to social constructionist theories, biological factors are seen as contributing in interaction with social and psychological factors to gender development. So, in simple words, the APA is defining gender as, yes, there are social aspects, but it is biologically influenced, and it is a psychological phenomenon that we experience in our brains. So a lot of people like to argue that, gender isn't biological and that it isn't real and that we completely made it up, and the DSM, the APA, says otherwise. Keep in mind that gender is different from sex. Sex is a somatic, just purely biological, sex characteristics like chromosomes, gonads, sex hormones, all that stuff, internal, external organs. That's your sex. Your gender is what you experience, like, in your mind. Yes, it is experienced socially, but it is biologically influenced. So now I went into where we can find that non-binary people exist. Where in the text does the APA mention the existence of something other than man or woman? So on page 451, and again, you can reference this in the link that I've included, the first place that we see something mentioned other than man or woman is in the definition of the term gender identity. It reads, "Gender identity is a category of social identity and refers to an individual's identification as male, female, or occasionally some category other than male or female." So here we go. We have some other category than male or female. Doesn't specify what that category is yet, but we know there's something else. So there's 3 options in that sentence. The next place that we see it is on page 452. The DSM lists criteria that clinicians and psychiatrists use to diagnose gender dysphoria. There are 6 criteria for adolescents and adults, and out of those 6, 3 criteria include something other than man or woman. That's literally half of the criteria. I didn't include the exact quotes in my article because, like I said, you can just click the link and read it yourself, but I'm going to read it here. So criteria 4 is a strong desire to be of the other gender or some alternative gender different from one's assigned gender. Criteria 5 says a strong desire to be treated as the other gender or some alternate gender different from one's assigned gender. And number 6, a strong conviction that one has the typical feelings and reactions of the other gender or some alternative gender different from one's assigned gender. But wait, there's more. There's a section in every chapter called the diagnostic features, and in that section, under the gender dysphoria chapter, the DSM says, experienced gender may include alternative gender identities beyond binary stereotypes, and that experiencing gender dysphoria is not limited to wanting to be the opposite gender, which means male to female or female to male, but can also include a desire to be of an alternative gender. This is on page 453. Within that same section, the DSM also notes that adults experiencing gender dysphoria may find other ways to resolve the incongruence between experienced/expressed and assigned gender by partially living the desired role or by adopting a gender role neither conventionally male nor conventionally female, and that is found on page 454. So time and time again, the DSM references some other gender. So why are we acting as if being non-binary it just came out of the blue? Oh wait. No, but seriously guys, it's not something that people just made up. The same book that is validating your binary trans experience is also validating my non-binary trans experience. Now you may be saying, okay fine, they said alternative gender or other gender, but they didn't say non-binary, they didn't say genderqueer. Aha! I beg to differ. For those that don't know, genderqueer and non-binary are pretty much synonymous terms. The next section of my article says how being non-binary fits the other genders you may experience and why neogenders don't. Before I get into this section again, I am not invalidating or attempting to invalidate anyone's experience with gender. I am just talking science. So, it's clear that the DSM acknowledges that there's other gender experiences. They said it multiple times. That may leave room to say something like, well then I can identify as anything I want. Let's just slow that down, rewind it, back it up.
Hold up. Hey.
let's back that up, because what is the definition of gender? Remember, the DSM says that gender is biologically influenced, okay? What are the biological components of gender? Your sex. How many sexes are there? Male or female? That is not debated, that is not open-ended, and that is not left for interpretation within this book. The DSM mentions how intersex is not its own gender, it is a medical condition. I do not agree with all of the terrible stigmas placed on medical conditions or things like that. I know it sounds bad, but at the end of it, that's what it is. Instead of trying to so desperately come up with new language, let's end those bad stigmas. Male and female are currently the only two human sexes, and that's just that. People with an intersex condition experience a combination of those two sexes, not some other sex. So if gender is influenced by biological factors, and the biological factors of gender are male and female, in order for something to be considered an other gender, it has to be coming from the two human sexes, male and female. In the same way that intersex is the combination of male and female somatic traits, the other genders that the DSM is referencing to are a combination or a lack of the two existing genders, woman and man. Let's see what the APA defines genderqueer as. Genderqueer is a term to describe a person whose gender identity does not align with a binary understanding of gender, i.e., a person who does not identify fully as either man or woman. This quote came from the APA's list of sexual definitions, which I linked. They gave a whole bunch of different terms that genderqueer people use to explain what they're experiencing, such as non-binary, agender, gender fluid, gender flux, all of that stuff. At the end of the day, it all means either experiencing a combination of both genders or not experiencing any of those genders. That being said, nowhere in any APA document is there a reference of experiencing any gender that's outside of human sex traits. In order for something to be a gender, it has to be influenced by biology. So there's that. That's pretty much my article. I also mentioned how the DSM strictly advises against confusing being gender nonconforming with being trans, whether binary or non-binary. I just felt like the non-binary existence on the internet and social media right now is so biased and so one-sided. And even if you don't agree with me, dysphoric, non-binary people deserve to have a voice as well. If you want to read my article in its entirety, the link is in the description box. If you want to chat, you can catch me on Twitter or Instagram. I love talking about this kind of stuff. And to the people that identify with a neogender or identify with being non-binary but are not dysphoric, or identify with being trans and are not dysphoric, though I cannot understand those views, I'm going to be completely honest with you, it's not my place to judge you and it's not my place to control you. As long as you're peaceful with me, I'm going to be peaceful with you. And if you say something I don't agree with, I have every right to disagree with you, just as you have every right to disagree with me. But at the end of the day, I just want everyone to be happy and healthy and get the medical care that they deserve and live their life to their truest, be your true self, live your life. But yeah, that was my article. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bye, humans, or other non-human creatures that may be watching this. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry. I just had to.
Hold up. Hey.